so we could apprehend the suspects later. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Again, every fourth Tuesday, Madam Clerk, what's that date for me, please?
One moment, I'm going to look it up. It will be, actually, you have one coming up next Tuesday, the 26th.
Next Tuesday, the 26th. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
You're
Thank you to the
welcome.
people of East Cleveland. That concludes my report. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Councilwoman Corrine Stevenson.
I have no report at this time.
Okay, thank you. Councilwoman Patricia Bohoviac.
General Service and Administration had a very interesting meeting about the possibility of roundabouts. We had a detailed presentation by Danielle Dronet, and she has also just sent me her slides, which I just got today, so I haven't had the chance to forward them to everyone. But that was well attended, and the discussion was interesting. And I am especially interested in the possibility of improving the situation of the numerous blocks around Eddy Road, Euclid, Forest Hill Boulevard, and Superior. And if we could do something to improve the traffic flow there, it would be a huge improvement. I don't know how many of the rest of you have gotten stuck in that intersection trying to continue on Euclid, or trying to turn, or trying to go from Eddy Road to Forest Hill Boulevard, or trying to get over from Euclid to Coventry, to Superior. It's just a mess, and I would love to see that happening. We also have a meeting scheduled on April 27th in the morning, when that was a time when we could get the Keisha Chambers to be available. The idea is to have a coordinated discussion of the water infrastructure, this road resurfacing, the potholes, and there's money available for bridges. I don't know if any of the bridges in East Cleveland would fit their definition, but I think it's something that needs to be done. I was interested when I watched the Mayor Bibbs discussion that they also had a concern that roads were being resurfaced and then immediately after dug up for water infrastructure projects. And there was a city, which I need to go over those minutes again. There was a city somewhere that is consolidating their water department and their roads so that that discussion can be more consolidated, which is the same concern I have. And Mayor Bibb of Cleveland was very interested in that, and I hope to have a discussion with him as well as with all the appropriate departments on this. Thank you.
Dr. Patricia Bohoviac, what time is your meeting April 27th?
It's at 11 o'clock in the morning. It was scheduled around the convenience of Keisha Chambers, who I've been trying to get to a meeting since January.
Okay, well, that's good news. The clerks, Justin Anderson and Tracy Peters, make sure everybody gets a reminder about this meeting at 11 o'clock in the morning on the 27th, which is
And
next
I
week.
hope that we can find some way to have that in person. Our equipment has to be somewhere. We need to, when you're comparing different maps from different things, it's very important to be able to say, okay, this one, that one, the other one, and go back and forth from one to the other in a way that's difficult when you're on a Zoom meeting.
That's some bullshit.
There is no place to have it. Council chambers they're used by court. we don't have any other place at this time to hold a meeting in the middle of the afternoon, unfortunately.
Morning.
And Dr. Patricia Blohoviak, I see you have your Nina Turner on your face. We can't do politics in the council meeting. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I forgot about that.
All
That's
right.
what I was wearing
Thank you
earlier.
very much.
Here
Okay,
we,
thank
is
you.
this acceptable to you?
That's acceptable. Thank you
Yeah,
very much.
I hadn't been looking at myself,
Okay.
but I did take off my sweatshirt.
Well, no, Nina Turner, she's a very nice lady. Let's move on. Juanita got it.
Yeah, contracts and property had met, and we had met with a few developers that want to do business in our city. And Mr. Hood Home Development, he wants to buy land, which he is buying land, and he want to do some development in our community in Ward 2. And I'm looking forward to having him to do that because he going to save a lot of energy, and how they're going to build the houses is going to save a lot of money for the homeowners. So I'm looking for a new look on Euclid and wherever they're trying to build at.
That's Howard, right?
Howard.
Yeah. Right. Which you also mentioned, Councilwoman Juanita Gotti, that you spoke with the two letters we got a couple of weeks ago from him, supporting his financial support for his project. You tell what you
And I
update the
have
council with
spoke
your
actually-
conversation today here.
I have spoke actually with the two lenders.
Give them the name for the
And,
record.
one of them is James.
Yeah.
And the other one is
What's the first?
Austin. And
Jocelyn Oslin.
Jocelyn.
Jocelyn Oslin. He's from Coco, right?
Go, yeah.
Right. And the other one is,
And James.
it's your letter, it's from Asset Bridget Capital LLC, and that's from James
James
Lipscomb.
Lipscomb.
Lipscomb, Lipcomb.
So
Okay, so
I
give
have
us-
spoke directly with them on the phone.
So
and they
did you
is-
speak with them today?
Today
Okay.
was the day because I was hearing some feedback that he was not qualifying or something is going on. And I'm the type of person going to look into it. So these people is looking forward to giving up the money that he was asking for and more, so I think that with these, with somebody that want to come in and do business with East Cleveland and to help our city look good, I think we need to go forward on this because that East Cleveland definitely need a facelift, and they're not going to gentrify our people out. Far as the taxes and stuff like that, we're gonna work on that part. We'll talk to them about that 15 years and stuff like that. So that's negotiable. We're gonna talk to him about that. But other than that, the side lots that was given unto our residents, and they're gonna probably be doing something that when the weather is breaking, we might see some good things coming down our street and with the side lots that has been bought by our residents. And that's the end of my report.
The next meeting should be on.
And my next meeting is March the 26th.
No, April.
I mean, April the 26th.
We're in April now, so
Yeah.
next week then, huh?
Yeah,
Okay, all
April
right.
the 26th,
At what time?
6:30.
Mr. Smith is, I think, actually, Mr. Smith was his.
Ernest Smith, are you still with us?
Mine's is at 6.
Yes, sir.
Ernest? Yeah, what time is your meeting next week?
6:30.
6:30. Okay, so you do 6:30 and Gotti contract will probably be at 5:30. Okay,
Thank you.
all right, thank
Well,
you.
due to me working and I'm a nurse,
You need to 6:30?
I really need the 6.
No, maybe they can
Thursday,
switch
can we
time.
switch
Can you switch time with her, Brother
I can do
Smith?
it another
Because
day.
she don't get off work till 6 o'clock.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
we'll switch.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
thank you, Brother Smith.
Thank you.
Very welcome.
I can get up
Thank
a
you.
little early.
Okay, all right. All right, so for the record, Gotti, you meet 6:30
Yes.
and then Brother Smith will meet at 5:30, okay? All right. Now, I have much to say for health and safety. Our next, I do have some good news today. Thanks to the mayor and police, we hired 3 new officers today. 3 new officers today. So we have 3 new officers, and that's been a challenge because we have been difficult trying to get officers, people to be, yeah, 2 African American. So
That's a big news.
that's good news for us. Okay. Otherwise, the next health and safety meeting will be May 10th at 5:30. Okay,
5:30.
5:30. That completes the report for health and safety. Let's move the agenda, Madam Clerk.
Okay. Under legislation, resolution number 2322, a resolution authorizing the mayor to transfer to Gerald Hood at an appraisal cost of $6,300 upon the recommendation of the Neighborhood Advisory Committee, parcels of land held by the city as part of its land reutilization program and located at 1648 Howard, 1656 Howard, 1661 Howard, 1662 Howard, 1665 Howard, 1668 Howard, 1669 Howard, 1679 Howard, 1687 Howard, 1690 Howard, and 1691 Howard. Requested by the Department of Community Development. This is sponsored by Juanita Gowdy.
Resolution 2322 has your name. What is your pleasure, Councilwoman Juanita Gowdy?
My pleasure is to move this to the next.
I need them up. You need to say, I move to sponsor this.
Yeah, I want to sponsor it and move it to adoption.
Okay, it's sponsored by Councilwoman Juanita Gowdy. Is there a second? Is there a second?
We have a motion to adopt on the floor by Councilor Gowdy. Is there a
Yes,
second?
we need to, I'll second it.
Okay. Now you need discussion.
Yes, we're open for discussion. And this one, we're gonna spend some time on. Let's get it all out here. I know there's some unreadiness about this, but Gotti did make the phone call to these 2 institutions, and she verified that they said this money that he says that he'll be getting. So let's open it up for anyone who wanna, go ahead, Ms. Gotti.
Councilwoman,
I don't.
Hold on 1 second. Yes, Dr. Patricia Bloviat. Go ahead, wait, yes.
I was very concerned when I found that this piece of legislation, which we had requested that the Neighborhood Advisory Council discuss again because of the concerns about the finances. And we had requested that it go back on that agenda, and it was not on the agenda. And the Neighborhood Advisory Council that had specifically wanted to discuss this did not discuss this. Now, this isn't Mr. Hood's problem. This isn't council's problem. This is the problem of the administration that has not put this item and other items onto the agenda of the Neighborhood Advisory Committee. And I am concerned about the administration's lack of follow through on that.
Well, I'll share with you what I shared with Councilwoman Stevenson today. Last night around 8 or 9 o'clock, I got a call from Rox Cockfield.
Mhm.
He told me that the Neighborhood Advisory Committee had an issue with the finances. Okay, so I mentioned it to some council people. Well, Councilwoman in Ward 2, Juanita Gowdy, called the 2 institutions that are giving him the money. And they verified that he will be, even though there's an expiration date on both letters, because I read the letters a couple of times. One is May 1st and one was sometime last year. But did they confirm that this is still going forward?
Yeah, and they is willing to write another letter to let you know that they still interested in the plan, and we have the 2 letters evidence in our hand that's saying that these 2, the money is here,
Right, and that's why my concern is not with the Hood. It's with administration not following through.
Oh, and we got an update letter from our
Hello?
clerk.
Dr. Blovac and Stevenson and Smith, we have an updated letter here, and I'm gonna have Justin read it. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I
Read
didn't-
it, right.
The guy was saying that Justin attaches an updated commitment letter. He
The
said.
guy, excuse me,
Oh,
What?
the
shoot.
guy,
Jim, sorry about that. Jim at Asset Bridge Capital. That's
Jim
on the
Liscombe?
letter.
Jim.
Jim Liscombe.
Jim Liscombe,
Yeah,
right.
he
okay.
says that
Okay.
he attached a letter. He said he can't be available at tonight's meeting. And it says, it's very small, so I'm gonna try to scroll in, but I'll print it off for all of you. It says the borrower is Hood Homes Development Group LLC. The loan amount is $4,200,000. The property description is Howard Estates, 28 single-family homes. Estimated closing, it is for, I think this is like February 2023.
Yes.
We have reviewed the preliminary information for the purpose and completion of this project, which is subject to final quality control and normal underwriting by the lender. This includes, but is not limited to, the title review and appraisal. Property is closed in a commercial corporation LLC with personal guarantees of all principal holdings, more than 9% interest. These funds will only be used to purchase and rehab, construct the above real estate. This funding offer is only valid with the funding secured through Asset Bridge Capital LLC and will expire on May 20th, 2022.
Okay.
Sincerely, James Lipscomb,
Liscombe.
the managing member at
Hello.
Asset Bridge Capital LLC.
Hold on
Man.
one second. Who is that?
My name is John Moody.
Okay, Brother Moody, I'm glad you're on the neighborhood. You have the floor, Brother Moody, go ahead. Yeah.
When we looked at this project, we thought it had some merits, but we asked that we validate and confirm the ability of not only the borrower, but his financing sources show their ability to finance the project. The letter was insufficient. Both letters were insufficient. We don't know enough about either entity. So it's hard to make a decision to finance something if you don't know who the entities who will finance the project. Okay, we looked up the one entity, CC, somebody. They really don't. They're just a letterhead. The ABC company, we don't have enough information to determine whether or not there's sufficient assets in that business, nor were we able to confirm who their lender, if they're individuals, they can support the project. I supported the project. I recommended it subject to a review of the financing sources, that we could get a commitment from the institutions. And a letter by itself is not sufficient. You need to know who these people are and their financial capacity. And we did not get there at the meeting. And unfortunately, that the minutes did not necessarily include all that information, but it's important for us as a community, if we're gonna get involved in projects, we need to make sure that the parties all involved, not only the borrower, not only the folks who are gonna transfer property to, but their financing sources are solid. Okay, that, I had a question. Are the borrowers, not the borrowers, the folks who will be a recipient of our land, the folks who are going to support them, ABC or CCG, whatever the name is, okay, are they lenders, direct lenders, or are they brokers?
He's a banker, so he knows. John Moody, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what we need from you, since you're a banker, can you look into this? Because I was gonna put this off till the first Tuesday in May. That gives us 2 weeks. Can you follow up to make sure that we cross the T's?
I would like to.
I mean,
I would like to say something.
Hold on one second. I'm talking to Moody
I'm
now.
gonna let Ross been in communication with these folks a little bit today. So let me defer to Ross for a minute. I'd be more than happy to come back and respond.
That wasn't Ross.
No, that was
someone
Mr. Hood, Mr.
That
Cockfield.
was Mr. Hood.
Okay.
Let him speak on that.
Okay, Mr. Hood,
I
go
will go
ahead.
in much detail as you'd like me to.
Speak, Mr. Hood,
Go ahead, Mr. Hood.
because what I see right now, they got the chief financial officer on here. I mean, these are signatures. I know they ain't gonna go out like that.
But what's behind them? Is there a
Right,
balance sheet? Is there a bank that we can call and confirm these folks have assets?
Well, what I'm asking you to do, since you was in bank for 30, 40 years, Brother Moody, to look into it for us. You
I
know
don't
more
have a
about
problem. Nate, Mr. Martin, I will work with the folks who I work for, Mr. Leach, to have them,
Leach.
right, to have them, those folks, that's their responsibility, not mine.
All right, but
I will help them. Nate,
I'd like to speak.
I'm uncomfortable.
I'd like to speak.
I'm gonna hear Mr. Hood, but I'm uncomfortable acting on this till we get this resolved. That's been an impasse.
I think that's appropriate.
Okay,
There's
all
a
right.
lack of, Mr. Martin, there's a lack of verification of assets to properly finance this project, okay? We don't know who the people are.
So are you suggesting, because we need help here, are you
I would
suggesting?
suggest at this point, if anyone, if they want to push this project, I say, my recommendation at that time was to go forward the project, provided we could verify and substantiate the financial institution that was behind them. They know they had a necessary funding to do this project and to be to verify that necessary funding. That was my recommendation. Now, if no one's looked at the financial strength of the two entities, then I changed my mind and to change my mind to be a recommendation to no. I gave the project the benefit of the doubt, subject to verification that they have the necessary funding by an entity that we can validate by looking at financial statements, by talking to the lender himself, and be able to find more information. Just as a matter of course, okay? There is no, Ross, are you there?
Wait a minute, yeah, I mean, hold it.
Why don't you talk
Yeah,
about
I'm here.
Mention the two particulars that came up and your additional due diligence today. And this is not our job to do this. This is the job of the community.
That's what we're trying to get to, who we can get to cover this, maybe somebody from the administration. But we got to do this. I told Mr. Hood that we're going to do this thing right. We don't want to make any mistakes because it's millions of dollars involved in here. So Ross Cockfield, I talked with him last night. He's here. I'm going to hear from Mr. Hood and then Ross Cockfield. Mr. Hood first and then Ross Cockfield. Go ahead, Mr. Hood.
Thank you guys for having me. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me? Thank you guys for having me again. We met with the NAC board back in January. It is now April. They did have a question about the financial institutions that and at that time it was only one that we presented to them as with a pre-approval letter for $4.2 million. Right. From there to now, who hasn't done the work to satisfy this gentleman with the financial institutions? Why is this popping up today is my question. I have a lot of personal money that I've put into this project. Yeah. I'm not just throwing money at the wind. I'm serious about this project. So I don't know any financial institution that's going to present their financials to a council or anybody else. That's not how that works. Because let me finish. Let me finish. Please let me finish.
Go ahead.
Please let me finish. There are millions of financial institutions out there. Many of them I know you probably never have heard of. Don't know anything about them. Does not mean that they're not legitimate financial institutions. This is 2 out of maybe 5 that are interested in this project. Well, it seemed redundant to give you 5 pre-approval letters saying the same thing from different companies. This could have been vetted from January to now, and it's just popping up. Now, for what I've been told, once we've been through the NAC process, that there's no mechanism for us to go back.
I didn't even notice that until you just said it.
Okay, there's no mechanism for us to go back to the NAC.
But the,
NAC approved us.
no, we didn't approve. We recommended you go forward, provided you can provide sufficient information to show that you had a financial capacity to do this. That was the approval. Then the minutes may be incorrect, sir.
Okay,
But
see, this is the first. This is the first that I am hearing of that.
well, this is her.
This is the first that I'm hearing of that. I mean,
sir,
we're
Excuse me.
wasting.
Hold it.
we're not.
I want them to go back and forth. Did y'all look on the website and see that they actually is the business?
No,
Did y'all-
yes, we
y'all
did.
research?
Yes.
Well, we looking on the website right now, and then we see that they're legit.
They what? What are who? What are you looking
I
at?
mean,
This is just. the
these are
website.
these are just website of really
The company.
the company, the lender,
No.
and their name pops up.
Okay, let's.
So I don't think that this is no scam.
Well,
No,
we,
That's what
I'm
you're trying to
uncomfortable if I'm not sure, and I mentioned that to Hood today. So what
say? They
Coxfield
sound
wants
like
to
it.
speak, then this council needs to make a decision if we can do a little more homework. My recommendation that we be ready to vote on this the first Tuesday in May, which is 2 weeks away. That gives us enough time to verify, to check out what we need to check out. So let me hear from Mr. Coxfield, and then I think we need to give ourselves these next 2 weeks, we need to do our homework. Maybe I get the mayor, maybe get the law director to look into this to make sure that, like John Mooney saying, that everything's legitimate.
It
So,
is a general.
okay, I'm not sure about it.
No.
I am.
Okay, all right.
Well,
I'm
you know,
not-
the question I always ask people, okay, if you were going to a bank in Cleveland, you could call the bank and talk to the loan officer and ask, have you made that commitment?
I think somebody just made 2 calls today.
Well, Golly said she,
That's exactly
Somebody just
what
made
we
2 calls
did.
today.
And if you look on the paper, it's a phone number and everything, and it's the bank people that's going to lend the money.
May
I
I ask
mean,
Mr.
y'all
May I ask
acting
Mr. Hood a
like
question?
it's a scam.
May I ask Mr. Hood a question?
yes,
Yes,
she
sir.
may.
Okay,
Yes, you can.
okay.
Go ahead.
Are either one of these entities you're dealing with, ABC or CCF, are they direct lenders or are they brokers?
They're not brokers, they're direct lenders from my understanding.
Well, then we should be able to get financial information to know they have the capacity to help you. We would like to do this project. We have to be able
Listen,
to
they're not
verify.
going to, nobody wants to do this project more than I want to do it. I am financially committed to this project. I have overpaid for some homes on the street that ain't worth
I
nothing.
understand that.
Okay, so I'm not coming to this committee, to your committee or the council and asking you to sell me some land that I don't feel that I can do what I say I'm going to do. That's not what I'm here. That's not what I'm here to do. You have been presented this back in January. All of this due diligence that you're talking about, you could have done that to this.
It doesn't make a difference, sir. We're talking about transfer of land to some third party, yourself, okay? So
Yes, sir.
whether or not we start this in January or yesterday, it is our obligation to the taxpayers of East Cleveland to validate
Absolutely.
this financing available to support your project.
Absolutely.
Okay. Also understand how they're going to finance, what are the terms and conditions. The letter said the deal had to be underwritten based on the underwriting requirements. I don't know what those are. Do you know what either institution is asking you to do?
Whether you know what they are or not is irrelevant. We don't listen. Before they will give us a dime, one thing we have to do, and that is secure the properties.
That's right.
This lending is asset based. It will be based on the asset that we secure. If we do not own and secure these assets, they ain't lending us no money, no way. This is the whole point of this. We need to purchase this land, and if you want to walk through the whole step with us once that's done, and once we're dealing with them and help us decide which institution we should take money from, you're more than welcome. You have a background in banking. I would like your opinion in that. But until we get to that point,
Let him finish, Scotty.
Yeah.
Let him finish.
You don't have to beg him.
No,
I mean, really don't have to even discuss that because 9 times out of 10, he don't have the last say so. If I know that I had talked to these people and you got the money in the bank, which I know you do, and then they're going to give you more if you need it, let's go for it. Because guess what? At the end of the day, when they bring people on board and take over the land, what they choose to take over, they're going to have to go through the same process that you went through since January. This is going on May.
This has not gone. Let me just explain one
it's
thing.
going into
Once you transfer land, it's a done deal.
And we know that, but
So we're trying to assure.
we're trying to work with him so we can get the best out of the land that we can get.
Let me back
And at
you
the end of
up,
the day,
ma'am. Let me back
saying
you
that
up.
the
I need to
bank
back
wasn't
you up.
even a
Nate,
fit. The
stop
bank
her.
is. We talked to the lender.
You didn't
The
talk to the
lender
lender.
even said that they are going to back him up.
Where's the
With
lender?
letters and everything.
What's a letter worth? What's a piece of paper worth? You can't back it up.
You need to call him and you find out because I did my homework.
Mr. Martin, I will say again, let me just make myself very clear.
Go ahead.
I recommended we go forward the project. Everyone seemed to be on board with this, subject to verification of the lender has sufficient assets to make this project work. And let me give you a lesson real quick. You don't take a project on for $4.2 million as if they're going to build 28 houses all at once. That's a project. First of all, there's infrastructure involved, securing the property parameters.
Absolutely.
And then building maybe a 1 or 2
Absolutely.
houses.
We described everything you're saying in the paperwork.
That was all described. Okay. All I asked for is confirmation and validation that the folks who are going to lend you this money, they're going to lend it to you, and what the terms and conditions were. Because it's once we transfer land to a third party, then we have to sit here and wait forever and a day for the project to move forward. Okay. And the question was, are the lenders to your project, are they direct lenders? Either one of those two. Okay. And number 2, do they have financial wherewithal? Not just a letter, financial wherewithal to support the project.
The reality is
that Mr. Hood, hold on 1 second. I want to hear from Mr. Cockfield. And then where I'm at this point, you mentioned Mayor Ron Leach. Mayor, we need to get some of your staff involved with this. That's why my recommendation before this meeting starts, that we probably can't do this until the first Tuesday, which is 2 weeks away. And then 2 weeks ain't gonna make that big a difference. To make sure that the financial verification is verified. So let me hear from Mr. Cockfield, and then I'm gonna go around all the council people and see where they're at with this. Okay, Mr. Cockfield, Ross Cockfield, go ahead.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. The thing that I was concerned with, in addition to the items that Mr. Moody has just talked about, is the fact that there were in the package, there was a lot of marketing material, but there were no financial documents that talked about how the money that he was going to be receiving is going to be spent and how it's going to be used. I'm talking about sources and uses statements, pro forma cash flows, income statements. None of that was available. So in terms of being able to identify whether or not the project is well thought out, I mean, I see Mr. Hood has a graphic behind him, which I think is very nice. But how is that project going to be managed in order for that diagram to be achieved? These are the things that a solid set of financial forecasts will tell you. We had none of that at our disposal. So that was one of the things that prompted me to address the concerns that I had, because as I said, there's nothing that says if he has a commitment for $4.5 million, that's fine. How's it going to be spent?
Mr. Crutchfield.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Hood, do you have the floor? Go ahead.
Were you on the, were you involved in the original NAC meeting?
Yes, I
Were you
was.
present?
Yes, yes, I
Okay.
was there.
Okay, so you had an opportunity at that time to ask all of these questions, right?
No, I didn't.
Why not?
We ran out of time.
Sir, we were on that call for more than 2.5 hours.
Your marketing man talked very eloquently about all of the things that, all the market studies, all of the shifts in income, all of those kinds of things were thoroughly discussed. What I'm saying, sir, is that there were no documents that we had in front of us to ask you pertinent questions about how this project is going to be managed from a financial standpoint, how dollars were going to be spent, how the build out was going to take place, and how you were going to make some money off this. I think that's a fair question.
Right, but in that meeting, you had none of those questions. Now you have those questions. But let me address
Explain
that.
this to you. No,
Okay?
the question came back, Ross.
Let me address
Let me
that,
just,
please.
may I just say something to you? When I recommended we go forward, I thought this was a viable project, okay? What I recommended we go forward was based on the fact that we would be able to validate and confirm the source of financing. That was how I recommended we go forward. And again, it appeared that everyone wanted to move forward in this project, okay? And it says, okay, we're going to do some new development. I want to make sure, Mr. Hood, that you're successful. You understand? That you're successful in building this project out, all right? And part of it says, okay, where's the money going to come from to do the initial infrastructure work? And who are those folks, and what are their resources? If they're individuals, then you need to see their financial statements. As one of your letters said, that if anyone, they will ask for guarantees from the principals. If anyone own more than 9% of the project, they had to provide a financial statement, okay? That was one of the letters that came back to you. What we're saying here is that we want to do, redevelopment in East Cleveland, okay? But we don't want a project to get started and can't complete, okay? To support additional acquisition of land in East Cleveland, and you're not able to take your soft commitments into firm commitments, the properties can be tied up for years. We don't want that to happen.
I understand that. And I've been working on this project from 2020, okay, throughout the COVID, right? There's a lot of things that have changed from the time I started to plan this project till now. The longer we hold it up, things will continue to change. You know, we have supply issues in all fields, in all aspects. So there's no guarantees. But I have taken a chance on East Cleveland and started to expend my own finances so that I can show you guys, look, I'm serious about this. I can't tell you what's going to happen tomorrow. I can't tell you if COVID is going to kick in again, the whole world is going to shut down again, supply and demand is going to go crazy. There's no guarantees on any of this, right? But what I can do, what I can do is show you that I'm committed to it.
But the letters do not show enough conditions.
That's only in your opinion.
No, the letter says condition is based on underwriting, okay?
Right, that's with any loan. That's with any loan. Any loan you get, underwriting is going to be involved.
Right. Well, right? So we like to know what conditions they want you to meet in order for them to make that a firm commitment.
One of them is to secure the property. That's
all right.
One
so
of the
that's
conditions.
done. Then what happens next?
Well, if that's done, then we have to. I have to resurvey all of the lots because the lots are in different stages. We have to clear the lots. We have to clear all the debris from the lots and all the trash that's in there. We have to secure the lots to make sure that it's not continued dumping. Okay, there's a lot of things that got to be done before we stick a shovel in the ground. But what we're doing, what's happening is now we're getting into what's going to be considered good weather months. And we're dragging this thing because we've been with you guys in January. We wasn't able to get in front of the council until late March. And now we're pushing this thing into May. And then once this land is transferred, you're going to want to see action. You're going to want to see some stuff happening, right? But in order for that to happen, we got to, this project is time sensitive. You know, and if you're unsure and you're think that we're going to tie this project up for the next 10 years or whatever, let's set a time limit on it. Let's say it's got to start by a certain time.
No,
You know,
but-
you know, but don't just tie us up because
All right.
everything.
We're not trying to
Mr.
tie you up,
Hood,
Mr. Hood.
Mr. Moody, go ahead, Mr. Moody, because we're gonna wrap this up in a.
We're not trying to tie the project up, okay? We're just trying to get a level of comfort that your source of finance are gonna be there as we continue to transfer money to you to build up your project, okay? And understand what their conditions are for them to fund it. So they're saying, if you don't have 1% of the house on your project done, they're not there, then that's a concern. Okay, that is a concern. If there's 8 houses that remain owned by someone else, we should understand what that is.
Yeah,
Am I open now?
Mr. Hood.
Counselor Martin,
Mr. Hood.
Yeah,
Mr.
yeah.
Hood.
Counselor Martin,
Yeah,
Mr.
go
Hood.
ahead.
Mr. Hahn had his
Let me ask
hand
you,
up.
Mr. Hood, have you built out
Hold-
single
hold
family
on,
housing
John.
before?
Hold
Wait a
on,
minute.
John, hold on.
Okay, Counselor Martin, Mr. Han has had his hand up.
Yeah, good evening, council members.
Now, who are you, sir? I don't know who you
I
are.
want to
he's
first
a
ask
member of the
Mr.
Hood Homes team.
Okay.
I'm the planner for the development, and I just wanted to chime in on.
What's your name, sir, for the record?
My
What's your
name's
name?
Hans Smith.
Hans Smith?
Yes, Hans
Okay,
Smith.
continue, Mr. Smith.
Okay, so I just wanted to just briefly, we provided some deliverables in regards to a lot of the information that's been mentioned in the concerns of the council. I did a plan. The plan is about 30 pages. The council should have that. That's one. And then it was also about 100-page land analysis that was done, of which many of the questions that's been asked by council is included in there. We went over EPA analysis in there, where we may need a phase 1 or phase 2 type of analysis. That's in that land analysis. We went over a cost to demolish the buildings on the site. This is a land assemblage, of which is all in that 100-page document. It's called the land analysis. It includes appraisals. It includes costs for demolition. It includes acknowledgement that we may need a phase 1, even a phase 2 environmental assessment. The plan includes information about the market analysis, the supply and demand dynamics within the neighborhood, target numbers. A lot of the information in that plan is right now, but it's going to be stale if we continue to prolong the process. It's all in there. Now, do we have a site preparation analysis? No, because there's a number of things that we have to do before we even get to the point where we're talking about clearing land and making the lots ready for development. There's infrastructure analysis that we got to do, all of which take money, but we need the commitment from the city in regards to this. In terms of the lenders, there's no bigger level of apprehension that can be created when the council has doubts about the development. To be frank, when we go to our lenders, these are time-sensitive things where if they're not going to fund this project, they're looking to get that money in the circulation. We've been talking about this since January, and we had a loan commitment for $4.2 million, of which the gentleman was ready to lend. But with that being said, so I'll close with that. But
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, the source of the 4.2 million, was that an individual?
It's a company called Asset Bridge. I'm not familiar.
Can I just help you for a minute? Let me back you up for a second, okay? We were supportive of the project itself. We wanted to get comfortable that there were sources of finance that can make this happen and to validate they have the necessary cash to
No,
inject
no,
this
that's well,
project.
that's well taken, Mr. Moody. What I'm talking about is the questions that were, now that the finance, the getting that to pencil out is one thing. What I'm talking about is the analysis of the site. I actually was over at the site multiple times, walked the property multiple times, interviewed neighbors and everything. What I'm talking about is the cost that we've done the analysis. We've done environmental, not analysis, but we wrote a plan in which we acknowledge a number of the steps of which is in that plan and the steps that we need to take to get this thing moving. Because there was a gentleman that said something about there's no information or pro forma. No, there's not a pro forma because we need time. If we were a pro forma, did a pro forma on those houses when I was over there doing the plan, all of that data would be obsolete because cost is going up. Right. And so what we need to do is we need to pinpoint a time, at least a range of time. Now, it doesn't have to be a specific date. We need to pinpoint a range of time so that we can, because costs typically change in our market every quarter. We're past the first quarter of January already. Once we get to May, we're in the second quarter. And so typically cost changes every quarter. And so
Mr. Hahn.
So it's all, a lot of that information is in the plan.
Mr. Hand, I just, a very simple question, and my question is simple.
Is that Mr. Cockfield?
Yeah, this is Mr. Cockfield. I'm sorry.
Come on, we gotta wrap this. We gotta make some progress.
But Nate, stop.
Minutes.
This is an important project. Okay, we need to ferret out what the issues are.
Mr. Hand, can I ask that someone is expecting to give you $4.5 million and you've not presented them any idea on paper of how you intend to get that money, spend the money, budget the money, irrespective of rising costs, dropping costs? Somewhere in this project, somebody should have put together some projections. And we should be able to discuss those projections with the changes in the environment in mind.
The projections are in the plan. Cost of the properties are in the plan.
No, sir. You missed what I'm asking for.
No, I got exactly what you're asking. I got exactly what you're asking for, and all of it would be obsolete. When I put this together originally, all of that information would be obsolete at this point. That's why I'm saying once we have control of the property, because there's a lot more money that needs to be spent, but I'm not spending any more of my personal money in this project if I can't get the council, the NAC that we've already been through, to agree to sell us the land. Why would I spend any more money doing it?
Let me stop you one more time, Mr. Hood, okay? I said at the time of my recommendation, we're not an approving body. The NAC is a body that recommends something that goes to the mayor and then in turn goes to council. Okay? So we don't approve anything. I said I recommend a project go forward, subject to review and analysis of the funding sources. Okay, the funding sources. Okay, to know who they are and what they are and what kind of assets they have behind them.
Okay, we can sum this all up like this.
Let me ask you a question. Can I call
Mr.
Hood? Can I ask you a question? If someone from the city was to call ABC or CCG,
we've already done it.
And ask them who are their sources of finance? Who's going to give these entities the money to support this project? And how do we validate they have the cash there? They may still have some reservations about doing a project until they do more due diligence, but the people have the capacity to finance you.
It seems that you are the only one that has a problem with the financing of this thing. Would you like to call them? I mean, Ms. Gowdy's already reached out to them.
I'd like for them to give me financial information. Who the people are.
Okay, well, you should call them. You should call them because you should call them.
Go to give them the number.
In other words, why would they? Who are you for them to show them what they're doing? They're a company that lends money for real estate.
Because the city's asked me to look at projects and go forward in the city of East Cleveland.
Right.
And I'm being asked to.
And you recommend
part of what I think I should do is to think about, can the folks can the folks move forward? Okay, do they have the necessary dollars?
Okay, this is
And
what
the
I'm
letter
gonna ask.
itself
This,
is not there. We
okay,
generally look at
fine,
financial
fine.
information.
That's fine. So this is what I'm gonna ask. From the NAC body and the council, if we're not going to vote to move this project forward tonight, then what I would like is a list of questions from the NAC, because I don't want the questions to change. I want a list of questions from the NAC and the council, so that we can provide answers for it and move forward with this project. Because now we're into May. We're gonna start getting into good weather months, and we're gonna lose time. We're not gonna be able to do certain things once it starts snowing.
All right, Mr.
Okay.
Hood, you're right on point.
There you
So
go.
what I'm asking John Moody, Ross Cockfield to do that, what Mr. Hood just suggested.
And
We're gonna
not
vote, we're gonna
let
vote.
that take 3 months.
Hold on a
Let
second,
that
hold
be
on a
next
second.
week.
We're gonna vote on
No,
it.
we're gonna vote on it. What's the first Tuesday in May? What's the
No,
first Tuesday?
Counselor, it's going to be the first Wednesday, the first Tuesday,
Yeah,
May
the
4th,
Tuesday
and that
is
is
election
election
year.
day.
In Cuyahoga County. So it'll be
Wednesday.
the first Wednesday in May. We're gonna vote this thing
It's
up
gonna
or
be on the
down.
4th.
Right, we're not gonna go back. We've been dealing with this thing for 4 months. And the questions are solid questions. So John Moody, Ross Cockfield, get the questions together. Do you have the information that you can email to Mr. Hood?
My
Mr. Hood.
question now,
Yeah.
we've,
Okay,
Ross,
I'm gonna
Mr.
cut it off.
Cockfield,
You gonna cut it
Mr.
off.
Martin,
Yes,
Mr. Martin, let me explain this to you one more time, okay?
go ahead.
If you don't have a known lender,
What's bothering me, John,
if you
is
don't, excuse me, if you don't have a known
dealing with
lender,
this
you
thing
can
for 4
verify
months.
their ability to fund a project, it's hard to say yes in the
I'm frustrated with this right now.
Pardon me?
This is January, and this should have been dealt
I
back
just
then.
saw this last month.
No,
Oh, you seen us in January, sir. We was in front of you in January. All your questions should have been answered then, if not
Okay, look,
shortly
you know something?
afterwards.
If that's the case, sir, let me tell you, then if the question was asked then we were not satisfied with the question, okay? Council has the ability to approve this project without us. So let me make
I
myself
understand
very
that.
clear. I am trying to represent
And we're
East
gonna do-
Cleveland to make sure a project is done properly, okay? But if council wants to approve this project without the reservation or hesitation that we had in terms of wanting to know the lender and their capacity to support you to do this project, the council has the capacity to do that. And your lawyer said that, and that's up to council. I have to go on record right now saying I was not satisfied with the financial information or the verification of financial resource to do the project.
John Moody, what I need for you to do, and Ross Cockfield, is
No, I'm not going to do that. Nate,
You're
I'm not going to do
You're
that.
not going to do that. What about Ross? Hold on.
Okay, so is it possible for the council to vote on this project tonight? Is it possible for the council to vote on this project tonight? I mean, I was originally told that that's what this meeting was going to be about.
Mr. Martin,
We're going to vote on this project, Mr. Hood.
Mr. Martin,
Cockfield, go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Go
I
ahead,
would,
Mr. Cockfield.
I will be happy to put together a comprehensive list of questions. I will share that list with council. I will share that list with administration. And I will present that list to Mr. Hood for him to present answers to council, to NAC, to satisfy the issues of this project.
Oh,
I mean, the lenders already gave him.
Okay, now, I have a question.
Let's
When
do
will
that.
we have that questions? When will we have those questions?
When we have the questions, Rock Cockfield, when will we have the questions?
They should have been on
Come on.
that.
What is today? Today is Wednesday?
Today is Tuesday. Today is Tuesday.
Today is Tuesday.
April 19th.
He will have the questions you'll have the questions by the end of this week.
So we'll have them by Friday.
By Friday, yes, sir.
Okay, make sure that the council gets it, our clerk, and make sure that the mayor gets them. And then we'll be ready to deal with this thing the first Wednesday.
Mr. Martin,
we're gonna vote it up or vote it down.
Mr.
Okay?
Martin, I would hope the council will share any other concerns they have with Mr. Cockfield, okay? I have basically stated my questions, okay? I think the concept of the project has merit.
Okay.
I would just like to make sure that if we get involved in tying up city land for any period of time, that the project has sufficient financing and understand the conditions of financing that would allow this project to go forward. So
Okay, we need that in writing, sir.
I cannot give you
We need that in writing.
Pardon me?
We need that in writing. We need that in writing. If you want that question answered, we need that in writing. We don't need you to just say it off the top of your head. We need it in writing. Put that in writing. And also, I would like to request that
Yes.
Mr. Cockfield and Mr. I'm
Moody.
sorry, sir, Moody.
Moody.
I don't want to Moody. I'm sorry if I
Yeah.
pronounced your name wrong. I would respectfully ask that they read the entire plan before they ask the questions.
Sir, I beg to say to you for a moment, okay? I support what you want to do, okay? But I need to understand how it's going to happen financially. Okay? That's simple. What's the strength of the lenders? Who are they? How long they've been in business? Have they done other projects like this?
Listen,
What are the conditions for
see,
lending?
the questions that you are asking of the lenders are
Are they legitimate?
no, they're not legitimate. Because
As your
if
lender?
the
Your
name
financing
was
source?
Chase, because if the name were Chase, you would not be asking this. If the
What now?
names of that lenders were Chase Bank, you
Sir,
would
let me
not
tell
be
you,
asking that.
let
It's
me
just
explain
because
this here.
you're not familiar with the institutions that are lending the money. That's the only reason why
Well,
you have the
then,
question.
they need to give us, we need to have financial information from those
They're
lenders.
not going to give you financials, and why would they?
We're supposed to, this,
Why would they give you their financials?
is this a faith deal? We got to believe somebody?
I say this to you.
Are we supposed to believe that they're going to
It's
finance you?
it's a faith bill on my behalf right now, because I have
can respect
taken
that.
the faith on the basis that I presented an idea, a brilliant idea, to this administration, and everything has moved forward, including moving forward past your membership, your board, and now at the 11th hour, we've hit a road bump. Which all of these questions that you had, all of these questions that you had, could have been asked months ago.
Mr. Hood, that's not my. When I saw this here a month ago, I asked this question and I said, I would recommend we go forward subject to verification.
Okay, but that verification only has to satisfy you. So you should be doing the due diligence. No, you.
It's not me. It's the
because
city.
If it was with the city, you wouldn't be on this call, sir. We'd be having this vote tonight. You
why can't you provide me with enough detail?
You are holding this vote up, sir.
Because
you're holding this vote up.
I'm not holding the vote up. I made my statement.
You are.
They can do whatever they want to do.
Well, I didn't hear nothing about NAC after we left you guys in January until a Tuesday or so ago. Then you guys popped up and you got more questions.
I apologize.
We were past. We were beyond your thing. And with the person that has set up your committee, so there is no mechanism to go backwards. There's no mechanism to go back to the NAC.
I made my recommendation.
John, please. We're gonna cut this off. Well, we're going to try to respond to. He said, give me the questions. We're going to act on this thing the first Wednesday in May. We're going to vote it down. Because this guy he's been dealing with this thing since January. Yeah. So that's what we're going to do. Patricia Blowback, you have the final say on this, and then we're moving on. Go ahead.
I continue to be very upset that the administration did not do their due diligence before this was brought first to the NAC and then to council. I continue to be upset that the NAC is letting this slip by and is not making sure that everything that they need to have on their agendas is being put on every agenda. The NAC has to take part of the responsibility for this fiasco. But the biggest responsibility goes to the mayor and his administration for not making sure that things are taken care of and are in order before they're sent to the NAC. So what do I think should be done now? I regret to say that I think we should wait the 2 weeks. But frankly, if things aren't taken care of by then, I will continue to put a large portion of the blame on the administration. But now that the NAC knows what the issue is, the NAC needs to take responsibility for its own meetings. If you can't get a sufficient meeting out of the meeting time, out of the team's venue, then get your own Zoom and make sure that the everything that needs to be on the agenda is on the agenda, and make sure that everything is sent out properly so that it's a correct meeting under the sunshine laws, under the open meeting part of it.
Councilman, let me just say this for a moment,
Everything
okay?
needs to be.
John,
Councilman,
go ahead. Make
My
it brief,
conditions,
please.
my conditions for recommendation should have been included in the minutes. I was very, very clear at the time to move this thing forward, and I'm with a recommendation of verifying and confirming the commitment of the lenders. And verification means substantiating their resources to do the project. You have to recognize East Cleveland is not a great community right now for people who want to lend into, based on the kind of conversation we're having about this kind of a deal, okay? So we have to be concerned that this project does not get stalled because at some point in time, they don't have enough resource to do that. And we need to understand as a community, this project can be completed if the borrower, not the borrower, but the landowner, Mr. Hood, if he fulfills his commitments to produce, that the lender will continue to lend. But we need to understand what their conditions are. Now, if their conditions are they getting complete site control, then they need to come through and say that, Mr. Hood, okay?
Been said that. We've been said that. We said that in every piece
Well,
of
I'm not-
literature. But let
I'm
me
not-
say this, Mr. Moody.
So what?
Let me
So
say
you
this,
say,
Mr. Moody.
so
Do you
Mr.
recognize,
that you need to acquire more property?
do you recognize that there is more things that can hang this project up than finances? Finances are not the only thing that can hang this project up.
But
When we
once we,
dig in this ground to go to hook up to these houses, some of these lots haven't been used in over 10 years. We don't know what's in there. That can hang up project. There is a number of things that can hang up the project, sir. There's no guarantees in this, and I recognize that. Finances is just one piece to the puzzle. There's a lot of other things that come along with this before we can even put the, okay. So I don't want you, because you are the person that have a problem. See, excuse me, Mrs. Boviak, but the mayor, his assistant, and Mrs. Gowdy, they've all looked into this fund and they're satisfied with it.
okay, well,
They're
you know something?
satisfied with what I have to
Mr. Hood,
do.
I will say one more time, okay?
Mr. Moody is the one that's not satisfied.
I want to tell everyone right now.
No, let me
Gentlemen,
clarify.
The city,
John Moody, we're gonna cut it off.
all right,
We know what we need to do. We're gonna vote on this thing May 4th. May 4th.
okay.
We're gonna vote on it. So what's been requested, whether it's provided or not, we're gonna vote on it. This will be a second read.
This
According to
is
what I'm
the
doing.
second
This
read
is a
right
second
here.
read, but we're not ready to vote on it. So we got 2 weeks
Holding us up.
to get it clear. I'll be in contact with the mayor to make sure we cross the T's and dot the I's with this, with the mayor and his administration.
That's fine with me.
Okay.
Moody, for your input, Ross Cockfield, and everybody else. So we're not gonna act on this tonight. We will vote on this. It's gonna be May 4th. It was only 2 weeks away. Okay, so if
Excuse
you
me,
fill
Counselor,
up the
don't we
right.
have a motion on the floor?
No, we don't.
Don't
There
we
was
have
a motion on the floor to move and adopt.
Discussion,
So we
right?
need to say, right.
So what is your suggestion, Dr. Bishop Ovak? What is your suggestion?
You need a new motion.
We need a new motion.
Okay, what
To move it to the next agenda
Yeah,
for
okay, so
discussion.
we're gonna table it and
If
move
we
it
were
to.
going to do that, we need a motion to
To table.
rescind. We need to take the motion that we have off of the floor.
Okay,
Rescind.
And
okay,
the
I'll
easiest
accept the
way-
motion to send Patricia Bloviak.
The
Are you
easiest
making a
way,
motion?
can you let me finish my sentence, please? The easiest way to do that would be to
Come on.
ask the people who made the motion to take their motions off the floor.
Okay, who made the motion? Gotti
I
made,
made the
she's withdrawn her motion.
I withdraw my
And who
motion
made the
and,
second?
you did probably.
I second, I withdraw the second, okay? Are we okay now? All right, now, now, do we need to do anything else before we move on? Okay, I accept the motion to move this to the May 4th meeting of the council. I'll accept the motion. I'm open for a motion.
We gonna rescind it?
I move that we table this resolution.
What we need to do is be ready to vote on it May 4th. That's what I'm trying to get right now from you guys. Give me a motion that we will vote on this thing May 4th.
You
That's 2
can't
weeks
do
from
that.
now.
You
Yeah.
just say you're going to table it and put it on the May 4th agenda. Move it to,
Okay, let's say we'll put it on the May 4th agenda
correct.
as a second reading,
Yes.
okay?
Second reading.
All right, who's made the motion?
You did.
I did. So
I-
moved.
Councilor Bahoviak, she tabled it until the
I
next
second.
meeting.
I second it.
No, we don't want to,
We don't need
Yeah.
it.
I don't think we need to table it. We just need to
just
deal with it on
rescind
May
it.
4th.
We need to send it and rescind.
we
it.
need to take it off today's agenda.
You sending it? Okay,
That's
Make
why,
a motion to take
that's
it off.
why it is sitting on the agenda. And it is, the motion to pass it has been withdrawn. The next thing to do is to table it so that we say we are not going to vote on it today. We table it and ask that it go on the next agenda.
Yeah,
Half
that's
the
what
table, we can
means.
move it to the next agenda.
Right, but that's what table means. You're tabling it from further discussion or any more motions tonight. That's what table means. It
Over
doesn't
again.
die,
Table, we
but we're
started
going to
all
move
over again.
it forward, correct? But you're going to table it tonight. And then we're going to move it to the next agenda.
if we table this, that doesn't prevent us from acting on it May 4th, Tracy?
Right, no, correct. It doesn't kill it, we're tabling it, which means you're not gonna do any further actions tonight, but we're gonna move it forward to the next council
We
meeting.
wanna move-
Over there, table it.
Yeah, she already did that, she did it correctly. We need a second.
To the motion.
Yeah, we
I
need a
second.
second.
Okay,
I second.
let's call.
Okay, Counselor Smith,
Yay.
Counselor Stevenson,
Yay.
Counselor Bahoviak,
Yay.
Counselor Gowdy,
Yay.
Counselor Martin.
Yay, okay,
This has been tabled and will appear on the
on the May
May
4th
4th.
agenda as a second read.
For the second reading.
Thank you, guys, thank you very much, let's move on. Clerk, let's move on to the next legislation.
Okay, is a Rosetta Terry online?
Rosetta Terry has spoken to us a number of times, and we have all, if I recall correctly, stated that we were happy with passing the land on to her. I move that we,
Wait, I have to read the whole resolution, Counselor.
No, hold it now. We're voting, is this a second read? Yeah.
No,
Yes.
the second read, yes.
So have they come, I said that we have these people with the neighbor next door come before the council. We give them a minute to so we
Look
can,
like a the person
Right.
on here.
Rosetta Terry has some limitations to her mobility.
so
And
can she be here May 4th?
Ms. Terry is online, Mr. President.
Okay.
Yeah,
Ms.
that's it. I just wanted to make sure she was online, which is
Right.
fine. Okay, so this is resolution number 2422. A resolution authorizing the mayor to transfer to Rosetta Terry under the neighbor next door ordinance and at a cost of $100, a parcel of vacant land held by the city as part of its land reutilization program and located at 1280 East 134th Street, East Cleveland, Ohio, requested by Community Development, sponsored by Juanita Gowdy, Chair of Contracts and Properties. This is the second read.
Move it for.
Ms. Gowdy, I need the motion
Wanna
that
adopt
you
it.
wish to sponsor.
Sponsored and adopt.
She, Gotti said she sponsors resolution 24
Second.
to move for its adoption.
Okay, and Counselor Bahoviak seconds. Okay, Ms.
Yes.
Now, let's hear from Ms. Terry.
Yes.
Ms. Terry, what are you gonna do with the land?
Where's she at?
Rosetta Terry?
She is already beautifying the land.
She is-
You is not Miss.
She has to unmute herself.
Okay, what number, what is?
Okay, can anybody hear me?
Oh,
Yes,
we can
ma'am.
hear you. How are you, Miss Terry? Go
Hi.
ahead.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Rosetta, we just need to know what you're gonna do with the property, young lady, okay?
Well, I'm gonna expand the yard. Anything that I generally do, I generally involve the community.
You're right.
I have a lot of stuff going on in my yard, and most of y'all has been to my home
Right.
to enjoy.
Hey, Mama Rosie with that macaroni and cheese.
Yeah, baby.
My God will set my heart on fire.
Okay, Miss Terry, we appreciate you, and we know you're involved in the community. We just needed to see you, okay? So.
All right, I'm here.
She
All right,
also plans to have a little free library because I have
Yes,
been.
I do. I want a little free library, and I want a bench sitting next to it with hot cookies. I'm gonna encourage the kids to read.
Good,
Okay,
good. All
okay.
right, you got something to do, girl.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
you
I don't
know,
think there's
I
nothing
love
else.
to be involved.
All
Okay,
right,
ready for the vote?
yeah, I'm ready for the vote. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Okay, Counselor Bahoviak,
Aye.
Counselor Stevenson,
Corrine,
Counselor Stevenson,
let's move on.
did I lose her? Hold on one second. I just want to make sure, Counselor.
Okay,
We lost her. All right.
We-
Counselor Smith,
Yay.
Counselor Gowdy,
Yay.
Counselor Martin,
yay.
it passes by 4 votes. Congratulations, Ms. Terry.
Congratulations, Miss Terry.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, all right, Rosie.
Yay.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
the next one, I see Miss Pennington's online. Please, Miss Pennington, unmute yourself. Okay. this is-
Hello.
Okay, one moment, please. Resolution number 2522, a resolution authorizing the mayor to transfer to Vivian L. Pennington under the neighbor next door ordinance and at a cost of $100, a parcel of vacant land held by the city as part of its land reutilization program and located at 14101 Potomac, East Cleveland, 44112, requested by Community Development, sponsored by Juanita Gowdy, Chair, Contracts and Properties. This is a second read.
Okay, resolution 2522 bears your name. What is your pleasure, Juanita Gowdy?
I want to sponsor it and adopt.
Okay, sponsor move was, is there a second?
Second.
Okay.
Counselor
Is Ms.
Bahoviak
Pennington
seconded
anything
it.
you-
Okay.
Okay, Ms. Pennington, is something you would like to say about the property?
No, I just want to expand our yard. This is our second meeting. We
Okay.
just want to expand our yard.
Oh, we appreciate that and we appreciate you. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Okay, Counselor Smith,
Yay.
Counselor Bahoviak,
Yay.
Counselor Gowdy,
Yay.
Counselor Martin.
Yay.
Congratulations, Ms. Pennington. It's passed.
Yay.
Okay,
you.
Madam
Well-
Clerk, we're at remarks and requests of the public,
Yes.
3 minutes.
Okay.
Well,
I'll
you,
take
I
from,
see the
okay,
names
is
up at the
any,
top. They may have something to say.
right,
Okay.
anybody online, buddy online wish to make for requests of the public? I see quite a few people online. Is there anybody?
Yes,
Here we go.
this is Cheryl
Fitzpatrick.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Go ahead, Ms. Fitzpatrick.
I just have a question. A few weeks ago, you guys were discussing the land for the library. and you were gonna vote on it. Has that been done?
We'll,
Hello?
we'll probably vote on it, probably, I'm looking at,
Hello?
we have not voted on it. We're waiting for something from the neighborhood advisory, we're waiting for something from the neighborhood advisory committee, then we'll be ready to vote on it.
Okay. Okay. That's all for me.
Anybody else? Does anybody else wish to speak on the public comment portion? Okay, seeing nobody. Response of council and mayor to remarks of the public.
What, I can't speak?
Oh,
We said from the public, you ain't.
Well, y'all
Okay.
told me to wait till.
who is this?
We ain't even know.
Who
We
is
ready.
it?
Mr. Holmes ready to speak.
All right.
Let's give it up.
There's two things that I want to say. I first got into politics. When they discussing about this land and stuff like that, right downtown there, that property was being developed, but they run into financial difficulties. And it took them about 4 or 5 years. Another administration had to come in and they had to do it. Now, what you can do is look on the record of the city of Cleveland, and it'll tell you that, what I'm telling y'all. They did the same thing, just like they didn't have the proper financing and everything. They got messed up. Now, the second thing, you all should have, and under the Brewer administration, they disbanded having a law firm that represent all the people and everything people wanted to know, that you could go to them and they would explain to you all everything you want to do, but you got to pay. The city have to pay them. Y'all don't have a law administration that can tell y'all that. Now, number two, on the physical emergency, I think. That's what they say.
We are.
Why are we on the physical emergency? Why ain't nobody trying to see why we on the physical emergency? Those people come down there and that's what they come here for, to explain what's the problem, what's keeping you on the physical emergency. You all haven't came out and explained to the people, not one of these councils came out and explained to the people why we on this physical emergency, what it would take to get out from under physical emergency. If it takes some money, you have to rise the tax. You go to the people and let them decide. Let the people decide, the city of East Cleveland, whether they want to stay on the physical emergency and have them running the city, or do they want to run it themselves? Now, as far as the library is concerned, it's all messed up. I got 5 kids. Not a one will live in East Cleveland. When they come to East Cleveland, they won't go to that library.
They won't go?
No.
Why?
Because they don't have the proper information they want. You can go to Cleveland Heights Library and find every doggone thing you want to. I just was up there the other day.
But this library just got a 5-star rating.
They should have a 10. I don't know what they got.
They got
What?
5-star rating, so something they're doing right over there.
Well, the people, why don't the people go there instead of going up there?
Because they close
I go
early.
there.
Huh?
Time.
There's a reason for people
All right,
doing
go ahead,
things.
Mr. Holmes, go ahead.
Y'all supposed to be working with the citizens of East Cleveland. Without the citizens in East Cleveland, without them paying their taxes and stuff like that, the city won't exist. How are they gonna keep existing without getting the money that exists with?
All right.
You know, I mean, common sense tell you certain things. You know, why people have to go somewhere else to get information?
Okay, 3 minutes is up.
Okay, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
Anything else,
Yeah.
Tracy? Anyone else?
I'm gonna call those maids up. Y'all
I don't
been-
see anyone else, sir.
Okay, we'll go with remarks from the mayor. Go ahead.
Thank you, Council President.
All
I'd like
right.
to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Beautiful discussion. I would really love to take this opportunity to reiterate. We have land, we have location. We have the land. We must be prudent. We must be smart about the disposition of this land. We brought in the executive level NAC members to ask these questions. Let's vet it out. Mr. Hood, I'm in support of your project. Let's get these questions squared away that they have. Let's move this thing forward. Even if we have to do what UCI did. UCI did a number of creative things so far as MOUs, easements, in order for developers to go to bank and secure financing. We can discuss all of that so that we can get your lenders to feel comfortable, right? 2 weeks will soon be here, but if something needs to be done in that time, we can do it. We are all in support of it. As Mr. Moody said, he's been dealing with lending for development for years. You do need that document that speaks to what you're going to do with the money. That, I'm in real estate, so I know that too. We want the project to work. Let's just do our due diligence so that we're comfortable and that you're comfortable. We know you've done yours to make it work, right? I'd like to thank everyone for coming out. That's all I had for this. There were a couple questions about the library. So when I talked to building and housing, library, the same as the other gentleman, on, was that Lakefront?
Lakefront.
That had to
Mr.
go,
Brooks,
yeah,
right?
the application had to be resubmitted and had to start that whole process over because the last application had been denied and we couldn't use it because it had a date on that was too old. So even the library's application is gonna have to start over. Solandra said that they cannot use the old appraisals, they have to have it reappraised. So that's what both
where
of
it
those,
is?
yeah, it has to go back through the proper paces to make this thing proper. And we're gonna dot all the i's and cross all the t's. So that's where this is at. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to go to the council. I've been through remarks of the public. I'm not going back there. So we're going to start with Ernest Smith, please, if he's still with us. Mr. Smith, you still with us? Okay, let's move to Corrine Stevenson.
She's not online.
Okay, Patricia Bloviak.
All right, it has been an interesting meeting as many. I remain concerned that every time we turn around, there's a different set of criteria for this neighborhood advisory committee presentations, that things are not getting onto their agenda, that they're not, because they're not getting onto their agenda, they're not being taken care of. Because they're not being taken care of, we are being delayed. And I would like to see things move along and all the criteria and not have additional criteria be added every time we turn around, so that the library can get its land, so that the Hood project can proceed, so that Mr. Brooks can get his land. I think this delay is unacceptable. So, and another thing, I forward to the council a letter from the auditor to the state legislature, Mr. Huff, and I'm not thinking of the other guy's name in the legislature, a letter dated April 8th regarding the cities in fiscal emergency. And noted, and this is in everybody's email box, so you should have it. A lot of it is about other cities, but some of it is, one section is relating to East Cleveland, and they say very specifically that we have had a problem with the mayor spending more than what the council appropriates. And this is this is a problem. And they also say, and I won't summarize the whole thing, they also say that they don't anticipate that we're going to get out of fiscal emergency anywhere in the near future. And I think we need to pay attention to that, because if we let things continue to be so much of a mess, we will continue to have problems. Now, everybody is aware that the NAACP, the Cleveland NAACP, has referred our police department to the Department of Justice. And this is something that we should all be concerned about. I find it interesting that 3 of the council members signed a letter in support of the police chief on a day that we didn't have a meeting. So there certainly wasn't a vote. This was done as individual council members. But if the individual council members got together on the same day to sign this letter, that's considered a round robin meeting, unless they were together, in which case it was simply a meeting that was not announced to the public and was therefore not a legitimate meeting. And I think people need to be much more careful about having all of their meetings and discussions be consistent with the sunshine laws. There are 5,000 other things I'd like to talk about, but I think I'll let that go right there for tonight. Thank you. Thank you for everyone who has been paying attention and working hard to make our city better.
Juanita Gowdy.
Wow, you didn't even say that when we, a lot of times we was together, right?
You're being muted, Ms. Gowdy.
We're
We
gonna
can't
move
hear
on.
you.
Don't go back and forth. Don't
We're
go
gonna
back.
move on
Move
because
on, Gowdy,
this is a
please.
discussion that I will have separately with you later on. But I'm glad that everybody came out tonight, and we looking forward for the developers to come in, and to hold up the project this long is really not right. But we're gonna do what we gotta do, because I'm gonna humble myself, because I do share contracts and property, and to hold up a project and then just bring it out of nowhere, I think that we need to get better at that, so it won't look like we arguing with each other over property or something that should have already been taking place, and we should have been moving forward by now. And second of all, a lot of these comments is unnecessary. I feel like if you have, don't say, why are you doing that? But 9 times out of 10, I'm looking forward. We do have some letters here of approval of letters here for the projects of our the development to come in. And we also looking forward to the library getting a property. All we have to do is, what you have to do is come in and do the assessment with the NAC so we can move forward. And I'm looking for our city to have a brighter day. We're losing a lot of our stores, and they being closed. And I hope that somebody else have a backup, because once you lose something, it may not get it back. And we do need a backup. And we got bigger fishes to fry instead of our together and work some things out, because our city is in great need, and we need to do this together. And be sincere when we pass these be sincere when we pass all these revolutions. And so we can be on one accord, because it's necessary for us to move the city forward. And far as Mr. Holmes, I just want you to know that they have meetings every month for the advisory for our city, you know, and every month. So, you know, get with the clerks and they'll tell you what time. Yeah, because we know that 9 times out of 10 that, you know, you may be, it may not know the schedules. Yeah, so you're welcome. And we had a good meeting so far.
Thank you.
We ready to move forward.
I want to thank all the council people for their input and involvement. We had a long discussion on the hood project, but that's what government is about, discussing the issue. We got it out there. We heard, we were given a mandate to get your questions in. May 4th, we're going to vote it up or vote it down. We got developers coming from all over this country coming in, these people want to do development. We have, and I've said this for the last 15, 20 years, we have land and we have location, okay? Government is not a perfect project. It's a project involving people trying to work together. I think over the last 3 or 4 months, we've passed over 50 pieces of legislation, which we're making progress. We're working with the mayor. And my thing is, we're not here to fight, we're here to work together. And I think we make mistakes, but I think we're moving forward. I think that we'll be out of fiscal emergency in 5 years. I think that's what I think. Now, that's my opinion. And the good news was, Councilwoman Juanita Gowdy and myself attended the swearing of 3 new police officers. Okay, police are hard to get now. Okay, because we lose a lot of our police to the other departments, can pay much more. We swore in 3 new ones, and so we're making progress. When I walk out and look out City Hall on the 1st floor, I think the Amish people are doing great work. And I think in the next month or 2, we won't even recognize this place. Even I went to the men's bathroom about 5 minutes ago, and it looks so much better. So we're looking at changing the carpet in the courtroom to get something that's going to be really nice with our new table. Okay, we work with the judge on that. So we're making progress. So keep us in prayer. Okay, I thank Mr. Holmes and the Old Maids and all of them that been coming to our meetings for years. So we try. Sometimes we come up short, but we try. I was concerned about this hood project, but I thought we had great dialogue. They good questions. We got some real qualified people on that NAC. We got a banker on there, Coxfield, who does the financing over at the library. So we got people to know how this thing's supposed to work. So we just have to get it done. So I'm hoping and praying that we get it done May 4th. Okay, and as right now for the council people, our office is clear. There's nothing in there now. We're getting that work. The floor is being done. It's going to look very nice. Okay, so we're making progress. We couldn't buy a brand new city hall, but we're fixing this one up. The elevator is going to be working.
That's right. They're coming in.
Right. They're coming in next month. So we're getting it done. Lastly, I think that we're kind of traveling kind of fast up and down Euclid Avenue in Superior. Well, I introduced legislation 1.5 years ago that I couldn't get the support, but I might be able to get it this time. So that'll be coming up in the Health and Safety Committee meeting, period. So let's keep trying. Okay, we are a unique city, all right? And I think the council people are doing the best they can. Okay, so with that, I close, and I would accept the motion for adjournment of the meeting.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and adjourned. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you. All right. Okay. Thank you.
The time is 8:15 p.m. Good night, everybody.